When the gaming headset company Turtle Beach acquired the PC peripheral company Roccat back in 2019, many wondered what the merger would mean for the future of the two companies. Well now, almost a year later, we get our first look at the offspring of this marriage, the Roccat Elo series of gaming headsets. It's unique in that it takes an existing formula that has served Roccat well in the past and adds on proprietary technology taken from its parent company, Turtle Beach. The Roccat Elo lineup consists of a brand new set of triplets, the Elo X Stereo, Elo 7.1 USB, and Elo 7.1 Air. All three headsets are available for pre-order now and will ship on October 4th. If you decide to pick up one of these devices or any other devices I mentioned in this review, then please consider using our affiliate links to do so. Let's kick things off with the most budget-friendly device here. The Elo X Stereo is a highly compatible wired device that can be had for about $50. It's an understated design that works well across all major platforms. With a few minor differences, all three of these new headsets look almost identical. Large leatherette pads attached to matte black plastic ear cups. The ear cups are connected to each other by an exposed metal black support. It's immediately apparent that Roccat was going for function over form with the Elo lineup. By no means does that mean the headsets are unattractive. They just don't care to pursue design trends for the sake of conformity. For example, instead of some complicated slider with moving parts, Roccat opted for a simple tension headband. It's cheap, simple, and effective. Another thing you'll see modern headsets do is go to extreme ends to conceal any wires. Here on the Elo devices, they're just hanging out. They also use a tried and true dual hinge with rotating ear cup mechanism to improve comfort. While I think the GSP 670 is an absolutely beautiful piece of hardware, I bet Sennheiser spent more time and money designing this hinge alone than Roccat spent designing all three of these headsets. And that's not really a bad thing. Apart from its attractive price point, the lure of the Elo X lies in its wide compatibility options. It connects via a 3.5mm jack and is reported to work with current and next generation Xbox and PlayStation consoles, Nintendo Switch, and mobile devices. Roccat was even kind enough to include an I/O splitter for use with PC and Mac. The over-ear cushions and tension headband have memory foam for added comfort. Inside those plush ear cups, you'll find powerful 50mm drivers. Audio controls on the headset allow the user to easily adjust the volume and mute the Turtle Beach TrueSpeak microphone, and that unidirectional mic is also removable. Recently, there's been a pretty dramatic shift in the design language of gaming headsets. Seemingly overnight, the whole industry has moved away from obnoxious gamer aesthetic toward a more dignified look that you wouldn't be embarrassed to wear out in public, and I think that's intentional. The Elo X is a perfect example of this. By removing the microphone, these essentially become just a good pair of stereo headphones. The audio quality was pretty great. Despite lacking in the bass department, the clarity of the drivers was very good, even at high volume. These Roccat headsets have the added benefit of using Turtle Beach's ProSpecs glasses-friendly design. This essentially means they use lower density foam where the arm of your glasses would go. This amounts to less pressure on the sides of your head and the ability to easily remove and replace your glasses without having to take off the headset. The ear cups, while comfortable, are a little too shallow for my liking, and the tension headband made the headset pull up ever so slightly on the bottom of my ears. Despite this, I still found the device to be moderately comfortable for extended periods of time. The TrueSpeak microphone is another Turtle Beach addition, and as you can hear, delivers an exceptional recording through its flexible arm. Just be careful not to leave it too close to your mouth. Now, including a splitter to add compatibility for PC users isn't a novel idea. However, the execution is something I believe deserves commentary. When using a single 3.5mm connector, you almost invariably will have it connected to something handheld, such as a controller, Nintendo Switch, mobile phone, or tablet. The cable on a standard pair of headphones only needs to reach something that's at most arm's length away. When using headphones with a PC, the cable needs to be significantly longer. What companies have usually done is simply throw in a splitter, but leave the cable excessively long. That way, technically, it's compatible with both. Roccat has made the headset cable an appropriate length for handheld devices, but included a really long splitter. This approach also has the added benefit of being able to leave the splitter plugged into the computer, making it easy to plug and unplug your headset from the splitter without having to reach behind your desktop. Now let's step things up to the middle child, the Elo 7.1. It's a surround sound enabled RGB offering that comes in at about $70. It's designed exclusively for PC and makes use of Roccat's Swarm software. As I mentioned, the body of the headset appears almost identical to the Elo X stereo. The only visible difference is the addition of RGB lighting on the exterior of the ear cups, slightly more bolstered padding, and the inclusion of a braided cable instead of a rubber one. The exposed cable between the ear cups is also braided on the Elo 7.1. As far as I can tell, the headband, drivers, microphone, and glasses-friendly design are all unchanged from the Elo X. Because these headsets have so much in common, it's probably easier to start from where they differ. First, the Elo 7.1 is a USB headset and is only compatible with Windows devices. As the name implies, this USB connection facilitates an optional 7.1 surround sound experience. You also have the added benefit of an additional control wheel, which is used to modify the mic monitoring level. AMO RGB lighting is also found on the exterior of the ear cups and is controlled via the Roccat Swarm application. You have the option to select from 4 basic effects or use Roccat's AMO intelligent lighting system. I covered this effect in my Roccat Vulcan keyboard and cane mouse review, but AMO lighting is basically a color shifting effect that communicates across Roccat devices. Right now, it's supported on a number of their newer mice, keyboards, and headsets. From the application, users can change the sample rate, modify the EQ, select EQ presets, set the system volume, toggle surround sound, toggle mic monitoring, change the mic pulling rate, toggle mic noise cancellation, and enable Magic Voice. Magic Voice is a real-time voice augmentation feature that allows you to disguise your voice.
The cartoon voice is very high-pitched and is almost unintelligible. Using it is a surefire way to get yourself muted in the first 10 seconds of a game.
Female voice is a less exaggerated version of this, but in my opinion, doesn't sound very feminine at all.
Male voice makes your voice sound more masculine, but since I already have a male voice, it just makes my voice sound really deep.
Finally, monster voice makes you sound like a serial killer, and is definitely the voice profile you want to use when making thinly veiled threats.
Although they appear very similar to the Elo X, the Elo 7.1 is about 60 grams heavier and just feels a bit sturdier. The surround sound is a definite improvement over the stereo experience as well. The sound signature also feels a little bit more dynamic, even though they have the same frequency range, and I think this may be due to the slightly thicker and more isolated ear cup designs. While I don't care for lighting on my headsets particularly, the effects here are tastefully done. The lighting effects, however, are few and may leave RGB enthusiasts wanting more. The software overall works very well, and as you can see, has some fun features you can play with. The Elo 7.1 Air is a wireless version of the 7.1 and is the most expensive of the 3 siblings at $100. It's very similar to the standard Elo 7.1, but uses a 2.4 GHz USB dongle to connect to PCs wirelessly. Unfortunately, I don't have a review sample of this wireless version handy, but I can at least give you the highlights. Just like the standard 7.1, the 7.1 Air is a surround sound enabled headset that's compatible with Windows. The internal battery lasts about 24 hours of continuous use and charges via an included USB-C cable. Aside from the wireless connectivity, the only other added benefit to the 7.1 Air over the standard 7.1 is the addition of Turtle Beach's superhuman hearing. This sound setting is used in a tuned algorithm that highlights specific in-game noises to give the player greater positional awareness. Overall, there's a lot to admire about the new Elo lineup. The Elo X Stereo is a great choice if you don't want to spend a lot of money and want a device that you can use across all of your consoles, computers, and mobile devices. Keep in mind, there's a lot of healthy competition at this budget price point. If you're looking for a headset you plan to use exclusively with your PC, I think the extra $20 is worth spending for the Elo 7.1. The added features and increased comfort really enhance its usability, especially for longer gaming sessions. If you need to cut cords though, the Elo 7.1 Air might be a good choice, but just as a reminder, I have not tested this device personally, so take that recommendation with a grain of salt. Links to the devices I mentioned here, as well as similarly priced products you may want to consider also, can be found in the video description, and down there you will also find links to our giveaways and our custom t-shirts. If you want to see other videos like our review of the Stealth 700 Gen 2, watch them over here, and make sure you're subscribed so you know when our newest content is ready to watch. Thanks for being here. We'll catch you next time.